My wife, 28F, recently changed her political views significantly and it's negatively affecting our relationship and kids, 30M. Help me navigate what to do. Throw away as my wife knows my real Reddit username, thanks in advance for the help. We've been married for 3 years now and she's never been political. Once we had our second child, about a year ago, she started getting really into reading mommy blogs and social media posts about the potential harms of vaccines. I listened to her, haven't made my own stance on it yet. I'll admit I'm not as passionate about the subject as her, so I haven't done much research, and empathized with the regret she was feeling about vaccinating our kids, and hoped that she would kind of leave it at that. Well, she hasn't. She's only gone deeper into the rabbit hole and all she talks about now is negativity about the government and what they're doing to deceive us. The vaccine blogs turned into interest in child trafficking, then QAnon conspiracies, and now so close to the election she's admitted that her apolitical stance has now shifted into one that's pro-Republican and pro-Trump. Majored in political science, so I know all the strategies both sides are taking to try and sway the swing state we live in. I'm anti-Trump, not super supportive of Biden, but agree more on his priorities/points that 45, and will not be voting for him, and she's expressed her unhappiness about it. I'm choosing to respect her opinion as I feel she's entitled to it, but now she gets angry with me anytime I disagree or provide evidence that refutes her position, citing fake news, echo chamber, all that. I've tried to tell her what she's doing is also in the realms of an echo chamber but claims her sources are more credible and refuses to back down. At this point, I don't even want to talk politics anymore, but she keeps telling me that's not an option because it's not about politics, it's about our kids. Honestly, I'm at my wit's end and we're fighting about this so often, even when I've asked her to respect my opinion. Any thoughts or others who are in the same position? As a nurse, this upsets me. Measles is raging in California and polio could come back if we stop vaccinating. Honestly, science is real and COVID is real and vaccines save lives. Smallpox is gone. I just don't understand why people want to go back in time medically. She needs to read reliable sources, not crazy people screaming conspiracy theories. I would suggest therapy and reputable medical journals from around the world. You absolutely do not need to respect her opinion when it's putting your children in danger. There is a subreddit just for people dealing with family going to conspiracy stuff, /r/QAnon casualties/ Oh wow. This is a treasure trove. Thank you, I'm going to take a look. So I haven't done much research. Your wife hasn't done any research. She has used Google and blogs to find pseudoscientific stuff that sounds truthy. You should go with your kids to their next doctor appointment and ask the pediatrician what he thinks. Doctors don't know everything, but I would trust a doctor over a random conspiracy website. I think you could try couples counseling for the rest of it. Hopefully that can help you all communicate without her automatically trying to shut you down. Hopefully she's not too far gone to work with you. Seek counseling. That's the only way to have a third party that isn't going to judge you both and give you real professional advice if your wife is being unreasonable. In my eyes, yes, she is, but that is my opinion. I grew up in a family of people who work in medical fields and it's such a slap in the face to think that these mommy blogs know more than someone who went to school for what they do. I've considered counseling, we've had fights about other things aside from politics, lol, but unfortunately my wife isn't up to it. Don't necessarily think it's a matter of believing in counseling, but she's rather insecure and I don't think she's at a point where she's ready to chat about things with a professional. The thing that frustrates me most about the vaccine conversation is that she is a medical professional herself, and now she's getting caught up in so much disinformation, IMO, that it's going to be hard to parent when we have differing views, especially when it comes to our children's current and future health. My 22F, ex, 24 meters, and his sister, 22F, are being harassed by my parents. Do I help them? My parents were extremely abusive. The nicest thing they ever did for me was letting me move out at 16, and even then they only agreed under duress. However, they were still harassing me, so at 18 I changed my name and moved as far away from my hometown as I could. They also made my birthday, which was the 4th, genuinely traumatic, to such an extent that on 4th October each year I have a therapy appointment, and that's basically all I am capable of doing on that day. When I turned 19 I said I didn't want a party, but my friend at the time decided I didn't really mean that and threw me a surprise party. So from then on I told people that the date on my name change certificate, the 20th, was my birthday, even though I still have to use the 4th on formal documents. I know lying about my birthday is weird, but after the surprise party I didn't want to risk it. Shortly after my 19th, I met Jack and Jill, who were siblings and roommates. Jill and I were friends first, then through her I met Jack, and Jack and I began dating 6 months ago. They weren't involved in the party, so I was able to tell them my birthday was the 20th, and hid the real date. I told them about 80% of the abuse I went through growing up. However, they had a good home life with loving parents, and I could see them struggling to comprehend the reality of what I was saying, so I held off on telling them the worst bits until I was sure they'd believe me, and never told them my real name/birthday. On the 4th, Mum messaged me. She should not have been able to do this, as I completely restarted my social media with my new name and fake birthday, and blocked all my relatives, so she's made an account just for this. She sent happy birthday, old name / along with a lengthy message full of her typical bullshit about how it's been years since she heard from me, written as if she has no idea why that is. Jack saw the start of the message and began demanding answers that I said wasn't ready to give, and asked if we could drop it. He got Jill in on it, and they both kept asking questions, so I left. By the next day, I found out that they had contacted my mother to get her side of the story, and they criticized me for removing my parents from my life and said I should give them another chance. I then broke up with Jack and told Jill we weren't friends anymore. It's been about a week, and my parents have been harassing Jack and Jill this whole time, demanding my contact info and address. Good news is, I moved at the start of September, and they've not been to my new place yet, so they can't give my address as they genuinely don't know it, and I've blocked them all, Jack, Jill, parents, on social media. I don't know what to do. I kind of feel like they brought this on themselves, to be honest, and if I step in then I'd be opening the door to my parents, even if it's just a crack. Jack and Jill have been messaging our mutual friends about it, saying I've left them in the lurch, which I kind of have, and they want me to fix this by speaking to my parents, who say that if we can just have a conversation then they'll leave us all alone. What do I do? Should I talk to Mum and Dad to get rid of them, or just leave Jack and Jill to fend for themselves? They open Pandora's box, so it's only fair they deal with the fallout themselves. Neither of them respected you when you said you weren't ready to talk about it and instead went behind your back. Be safe up, and good luck. I remember your Ita post. I'm glad you broke up with him and cut ties with them both. I'm furious for you that they contacted your parents. Do not get involved at all. It was their choice to disrespect your boundaries, even after you had told them what your parents were like. Please focus on keeping yourself safe, physically and emotionally. How did your mom find out your new info? That would be the first thing I would worry about and try to fix. Second, since they refused to believe you in the first place, and provided the intro into the harassment, then I would leave them to sort it out themselves. Simply making an announcement to all your friends by way of a snail mail letter, that says, due to years of abuse by my family I have chosen to cut off all contact. Please respect my decision. Still no idea, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't have any of my old photos/info on my social media, and I'm not in contact with anyone who used to know me. The simple answer is to tell them to do what you had to do. Change their names and block all their social media and move away. That's what you did and they ruined it. It may be nice to give them actual advice, but you have no obligation to solve their problem for them. Terrible analogy time. You told them an old cooler was full of shit and rotting meat you're throwing out. They brought the cooler to their place and dumped it in their living room. They did this because their cooler was full of beer and happiness, and yours must be too. Now they want help cleaning it up. Nope, do not re-establish contact. You've done a great job breaking it, and these people have gotten you re-involved for no reason. Besides, do you really think if you have a conversation with them they will leave you or Jack and Jill alone? Really doubt that. Not only should you not help them here, but I also think you can't. They opened this can of worms themselves instead of simply trusting you because they are not a very good part of your support system. Do you have people who you think might understand you can talk to? I think you should reach out to as many friends as you can right now. This sounds really hard. My 29M husband doesn't think he's the father of his kid and thinks I, 28F, am lying. What should I do? We recently had a daughter in March. We were both beyond thrilled. My husband has brown hair and I have black hair. In the first couple of months, our daughter had black hair, but it slowly started to lighten to a dirty blonde. Same thing with her eyes, they were first brown and now they're green. We both have brown eyes. Told him I did not cheat on him. Just because our daughter has different features does not mean I slept with another person. I told him hair and eyes can change as one ages. He himself is white, which explains this. Although nobody in his family has blonde hair, some do have green eyes. He told me he wanted to get a paternity test done. I felt hurt, but if that's what it was going to take, I would do it. He changed his mind about the paternity test because he needed time to research. I think he thought that I wouldn't want him to do the paternity test to prove that I was indeed lying. I really don't know why he doesn't understand basic genetics or why he's hesitant to get a paternity test now. Why force him to get a paternity test? Give it time. I'm just sad that I have to prove this to him. Too long didn't read. My husband thinks I cheated on him because our daughter has slightly different features than us. Edit, I am not Caucasian, but he is. He's hesitant to get the test now because he knows a positive result will make him look like an ass. Think you should absolutely insist on performing the test, otherwise he'll drag his doubts back out of the closet every time you two quarrel in the future. He kicked the hornet's nest by insinuating that your child isn't his. The test results will put that to rest immediately, whether he feels like an ass or not. Then you two can proceed with counseling. Is he Irish? My grandfather was Irish and my grandmother was black. My mother and aunt came out very light, my mother with black hair, and my aunt had red hair. My father was black, a chestnut complexion. My sister and two of my brothers came out light brown. My youngest brother and I came out Prince the artist complexion. My mother said I had black hair when I was born, it lighted to a light brown, and in the summer it lightens even more. Me and my youngest brother have light brown eyes, and everyone else in eyes are black. My youngest brother and I married dark brown skinned women, and all our children are light-skinned. All of my children have black hair and eyes like their mother. My brother has two girls, one with sandy blonde hair and light green eyes, and the other has black hair and black eyes. Good luck playing the interracial wheel of features. Get him 23andMe for Christmas. Yes, of Irish and Scottish descent. The test isn't the problem here. The trust issue is. Even with the test, it won't be solved. We're looking into marriage counseling. Do the test and get couples counseling to deal with his trust issues. Both my parents are olive with dark hair, I'm blonde and porcelain. Believe me, I wish I wasn't theirs. Genetics are just weird, man. Don't ignore the fact that he clearly doesn't trust you. Do you want your daughter internalizing that?
Doesnt.